Hey, Chris Mack here. I've had a mentor meeting and yet again, it's been reinforced that we need to talk about software. Software comes up all the time and it's not something to be taken lightly and it's not something to skip past. Stay here with me because I'm going to talk to you about how your software, your right choice of software, how it's going to help you with your marketing strategy, your marketing in general, how it's going to help you with your customer retention, your customer relationships, which is also going to directly help you with your marketing strategy, how it's going to help you with your staff, your team, your employees. It's going to help you retain staff. It's going to help you know how to filter out and what staff maybe need to be let go. It's going to help you in so many ways, even encouragement and knowing how to give the right direction to your team members. It's also going to help you with your financials, planning for the future, knowing how to invest, being prepared for tax time. If any questions come up, if you were maybe subject to an audit, it's going to protect you. So let's dive in. Hey, I'm Chris Mack here. I am a mentor for small businesses. I specialize in brick and mortar businesses, but I work with those businesses, helping them see the benefit and learn how to get their businesses up online. So if you are an online business, you are welcome here. We've got lots of tips and tricks and we want to hear your input as well. I've been working as a mentor for several years now. I opened my first brick and mortar location in order to, the elevator pitch was to facilitate entrepreneurial artists from various avenues, teaching them how to turn their talents into viable businesses. And I've been doing that under a brick and mortar since 2012. I've been working obviously well before then, but since 2012 is when we opened our brick and mortar doors. And I have been facilitating and working with small businesses that aren't even considered artists, but people who I felt could benefit from our experiences. And I invited them into our location and would coach and work with them to help them grow their businesses and essentially do something that they love every day. So with that said, your software, what you choose, should not be taken lightly. And more so, what I have even seen a new business that just opened up in like end of 2022 or like 2023 without any internal software to run their businesses. They've opened up with like a notebook or a physical paper calendar. And there's so much useful information that's being lost, not only to help them in the future to grow their businesses, but also if anything, on the negative side were to happen, to help them protect their businesses. So for the purpose of this video, we're just going to touch on a few main points. I'm not going to dive in. I'm going to save that for another time. Your software, what you choose, it can only really work when you feed it information. So you've got to set it up properly in day one. You've got to make a process within your business that if it's a one-person show, that you're feeding it the right information. If someone comes in, for example, maybe they don't buy anything, but do they talk about something? Do they ask about something? Is that a common consultation that you have? That should be recorded. If they do purchase something, that should be recorded. And you might say, well, of course it's going to be recorded. It's been purchased, but is it really recorded? Is it, give me a quick example. Let's say you sell socks. Did you say, you might laugh. I hope you understand that this is like very common. Pair of socks sold, $12. Pair of socks sold, $12. What pair of socks? What design? What color? What size? Who bought them? How does that person identify? Like, those are things that need to be in your system, not to be taken lightly, because that is so going to impact any decision that you make in, the next quarter or the next year. Are you going to spend money on another 100 pair of blue socks if the only pink socks sold? So, or did pink socks sell off the shelf in 1 month, but blue socks took 3 months to sell? Like, these are things that are it's really business 101, but yet many people open up a business and they really don't have these numbers. And I've spoken in actually on a few different platforms before. I've spoken about know your numbers And that's misunderstood all the time. And I have to say to people, what does it mean to you to know your numbers? And it's sometimes surprising, the responses that I get. But that would also be an example of knowing your numbers. How many days did it take for 100 pair of blue socks to sell? Who did those blue socks sell to? What demographic did they sell to? Anyway, you can see why I'm saying I'm going to touch on that at another time. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of information as to how important it is to have software that can not only record the data and store the data and be available for you in the future, but you need to have a system and a process in order that if it's you or if it's an employee, a staff member, a contractor, that they know no one leaves this place without you recording the fact that they were there, what their questions were. There has to be something set up. And not that they're going to sit there and write a journal article. It should be a code, like a journal article. We're sitting there writing a journal about why they came and what how are you going to call that up? That's not going to be beneficial for you. You're not going to be able to print out a report. There should be a consultation code. They asked about consultation socks, consultation purses, consultation real estate, consultation red cars, like those should be things. So at the end of the year, you can say to yourself, what are things at the end of the year that I'm going to want to know about? I'm going to want to know blue socks versus pink socks. So there should be a code. Even if they didn't buy it, there should be a code. So I can say, oh, look I've had 10 consultations about blue socks, but I've had 300 consultations about pink socks. Interesting. Hopefully you get the gist of that. Next thing is your customer relationships. So often we hear about customer relationship management systems, blah, blah, blah. What does that mean to you? What information are you getting from your customer? Their demographic. We would hope that's obvious. Are you following up with the customer? How often do they come? Do they come once a week? Do they come once a month? Do they come once a year? Have you not seen them in 3 years? Why haven't you seen them? There's things about your customers that you're going to want to follow up on. And there's things you're going to want to follow up on automatically. You might say within your software, if I haven't seen someone and I say seen someone because again, they shouldn't have to purchase. If they've come in and talked to you, that should be put into your software. That should be recorded somewhere. But let's say purchases. They have not purchased from me in 6 months. Do we have something automated that says, here's all the people that haven't been in the last 6 months. We're going to send out an email just to see how they're doing. These are things that you can have running in the background. This is why I often speak about software as being your best business partner, because you spend the time, you build the relationship with your software, you put in all the information that you need, you get your codes, you get everything that you need set up. You have it all prepared, and then you use it. And it works with you, and it feeds you, and it speaks about your business, and it gives you information about your business in months to come and years to come. So customer relationship management, huge. You have to be able to provide your software something for it to be able to kind of spit out the reports that you need, but very, very valuable. Employee relationships or team relationships, staff relationships, contractors. How much are they selling? What are they selling? What days do they work? What times do they work? When do they log in? When do they log out? What's their retention? They might feel that they're servicing a lot of people, but are they getting those people back? Are those people booking with them, or are they booking with someone else? Are they purchasing from them? Or are they purchasing from someone else? So many times you can use the information that your software provides you. Of course, you set it up in the first place so it can work for you. But when you want to run a report and say, how much is this person selling? How many of this unit have they sold? How many of this unit of this maybe service have they sold, depending on what industry you're in? Upsells. You have codes for other things. Like, here's an upsell, and you have it coded differently within your software. So you're able to run that report. They came in for these standard services, but our upsell products or our promotions, look how many times they've used the promotion code. That person works really well with promotions. You can then find ways to encourage your staff. You can find ways to maybe answer questions. Maybe your staff are saying, I'm not really doing really well with this. I'm feeling really discouraged. I don't know why. Your software can give you the data that you need to help support you working with your team, working with your staff, or working with your employees. Other thing it's going to do is going to help with your financials, financial planning. Is it worth investing in this next year? Is it worth investing in this marketing strategy? Does that marketing strategy work for us? Just because you implement a marketing strategy doesn't mean that's the end of it. You have to revise that marketing strategy. So let's look at the numbers. Come tax time. What if you're subject to an audit? Okay, did you buy this? Did you sell? How much of this did you sell? Was that a product? Was that a service? Did you collect taxes on that? Was that a gift certificate? Like all of these things, when you are putting everything through your system in one place, if someone has a question, are you able to go click, 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 January 1st, to December 31st, print, and here you go. You should be able to do that with your business. You should not be digging through files, digging through notes, trying to find things, going through emails, trying to prove something. Your software should be doing that for you. So yes, software is extremely important. Finding the right software is extremely important for your business. I can't stress it enough. I spend a lot of time in my business myself, have spent a lot of time, do spend a lot of time. Every quarter, not exaggerating, I have looked up and continue to look up competitors, what's going on. There's so many techies out there that compare software. I'll put in the one I'm currently using versus something that I'm kind of interested in. And most of the time, I find some sort of review, some sort of chart comparison, something. And then I've mostly continued on with the software that I had because I made a really good choice. I did the right research in the very, very beginning. And sometimes I've been tempted, like, oh, maybe I should try something else. But yet, this day and age, people are so neck and neck. These like software development companies are so competitive right now. If one's doing it today, yours is probably going to do it tomorrow. So sometimes it's good to be patient and just work with your software developer, make calls, definitely take part in surveys. If you can get someone on the phone, get your suggestions in if something's not working for you. Many of them will make custom reports if something's not working for you. Sometimes just throw a bit of money at the problem and you can get a custom report that gives you the data that you need. Maybe they haven't got there quite yet. Although 2023 and after the last 3 years that we've had, I've noticed a huge surge in just different types of reports, data online, things that we would need as a business that maybe we didn't even know we needed 3 or 4 years ago. It's available now. And I think the last 3 years really pushed that people need this at their fingertips to be competitive and to be viable. So software, huge, very important. I would love to dive into software on each topic and even different topics, things I haven't mentioned today, but that's enough for today. Start researching and get the right software for your business. So that's just me sharing some of my experience, some of my advice. Take what you will. Might not be for everybody, but take what you will, and I'll see you next time.